Well, good morning. Surprise, we're going to talk about government grants again. I'm Abe. I see Abe back here between the trees. That's Abe Lincoln Memorial. There it is, somewhere over there. See that little shed back there? That's a veterans. Uh, Actually, one is the Park Service, the other one is a veterans, place. They sell vet stuff. A lot of vets come down here because the Vietnam Memorial is right over here on this side, and the Korean Memorial for the Korean War is on the other side of Abe. Actually, they had a ceremony there because I guess it was some anniversary of the Korean War, and I was trying to tape it or videotape it live, and maybe that's why you see a funky video there from yesterday, and nothing there because I couldn't get everything working fast enough before the music stopped. So the music stopped. So I see there's some people here that I want to make sure you hear me, because a lot of times I've been having trouble putting on the right buttons and everything. And somebody said something about my ears look funny, like I have some kind of, no, these are earphones that I use. But I'm getting a lot of comments today in my new gray outfit. I don't know. I think I wore it last night on some videos I did. And actually, I screwed up a video last night with the wrong phone number. So if you got the one with the wrong phone number, I was calling your congressman as a way to increase your grant that you'll get from the stimulus grant, because they're just discussing it now. And if you have power in this system by calling. And if you call, then it may help them change their mind if they realize what's going on. People have them like me and starting or trying to grow my business or whatever. It's all feedback. You can't do anything that's right unless you get feedback to learn what you think is wrong. And people are willing to tell you that. I get that all the time. Actually, here's what I get on Let's Go Help a lot of time, and I want to explain so people know exactly the kind of service I could do or that anybody could do. In other words, people are in financial trouble, and they come to me and say, hey, like here's a woman here that she wanted to start a business, and she wants to know what link to apply for to get money to start a business. And there's so many links that are possibility. There's so many, each one has different requirements. It can't do that way. In other words, that's why I say it's like trying to find a date. Okay, maybe there's 25 million women that are happy to go on a date, and you're one person. Okay, now how are you going to find those 25 million people? And then when you do find them, how do you know that that's the one that will be right for you? See, that's what getting, anything. Getting a job is that way. Getting a government grant is that way. So what you have to do really first is not use Google, because what Google will do is show you 2 billion websites that say they help you do this and will charge you money. So what I do is go through and those websites that are only there to give you money. So you have 2 billion websites in Google that want to get your money, and they say they could get money, but they want to get your money first. What I do is show you only websites that give you money. Now, that's a complicated process in itself. I've been studying the websites that give out money for 50 years now, and I still don't have a good thing, because it's life in general. I mean, these are laid on top of each other. People forget about them. Nobody knows what's there. It's a complicated system. So what you have to do, I feel, is start learning that. And what I do is send you possibilities. Okay, and I send usually a level of possibility. Here are 4, 5, 6 places to start. These are good starting places because you get feedback on your idea. Maybe you get the money, maybe not. And also, all these things that I give you are places that could tell you what other places are, because they're all people like me that study this for a long time and say, oh, for where you live and what color dress you have on, you should try over here. Yeah. And that's what you also have to get from these sources. is places that are maybes that I probably don't know about. It's just too big out there. Yeah. And I'm going to send you maybe 50 sources or so for starting a business. That's down from a billion on the internet. And they all have, and see, and that's how you learn. It's sort of, okay, you start for a date and you think, oh, I think this is what this woman wants to hear if I ask her for a date. And you go out there and it doesn't work, right? She says, nah, you idiot, or whatever. So you're trying to figure out what's in their head. And then you try another one with a new pickup line. And you try another one with another new pickup line. And if you were smart, you would stop and ask that woman, hey, why didn't you say yes? Your nose is too big, or you smell, or boy, you just talk funny, I don't want, you just came up and said I wanted to ask for a date. No, I don't date that way. I want to get to know you, before I say it. So there are all kinds of reasons. That's what you have to learn in this process. So you're out there and you think, okay, because see, people like me and who are selling you stuff for help are trying to make you believe all you have to do is find the magic thing. Okay, that's a woman who wants to go out with you. All you have to just do is get there and say, will you go out with me? And you got yes or no. And they'll probably say yes, because I did all this research. And that's just unrealistic. So if that's what you need, I'm going to have to give you your money back. I'm not that good. And if you tell me somebody that is good, actually, there are people that do that. And I used to do that and charge like $10,000 because it just takes time. So you have to be ready to get the time. You may get lucky, and they're the people I used to put in the infomercials and things like that you could just go to one website and get lucky. But what you have to do is get out there and start getting help. Start understanding what is available, in what form, and that's where you're able to take your idea and grow it to something else that you didn't even know was available, because you're putting together a mosaic, a piece of the puzzle. Every contact you make, everything you do is just a small piece of the puzzle. That's why people say, I get people, well, I've been looking on the internet for 2 months. I didn't get anything. Yeah, you're right. Because you look at a thing, you have been my favorite white man since the 90s. Thank you. And it, for 2 months, that's true, because you're, okay, can I play for that? No. You're not learning. You're just going and say, hey, you want to go to bed? Hey, you want to go to bed? Hey, you want to go to bed? And they're all telling you no. Because you're not taking them to dinner, right? And that's what's happening. And you have to be patient. You have to try to understand what's in your head is probably wrong. What was it? Oh, somebody, I had another person the other day. I know. Yeah, another person, I didn't answer him yet. He thinks he's going to go to jail because he applied for business money and he doesn't think he has a business. And what I have to tell him, if you applied and didn't lie, because he found something on the internet that said you're going to go to jail if you lie. That's true, but I'm saying you don't have to have a business for a lot of these business programs. That's different than lying. I didn't tell you to lie. You fill out the form, tell them the truth or whatever, because businesses aren't typical businesses anymore. The government is saying a business is so many different things than we used to think of what was a business. We used to think, you have to have employers, you have to have a place to do, you have to have an EIN, you have to have this, you have to be LLC. No, none of that shit means business to a lot of these new programs anymore. That's why I say, hey, no, you don't have to be a business to get business money. But you should not lie. I mean, people do, and unfortunately that happens. But no, I mean, you have to live by your ethics, and you start lying, then you're getting something that you don't deserve and you don't feel good. And the nuns are going to yell at you and say you're going to hell. I'm not a nun, and I don't know if you're going to hell or not. But I know it's going to eat you inside a little bit. And that's what we do. It's hard enough to struggle through this life anymore. And there's so much encouragement for us to nibble around the edges And we think we get away with it, and everybody does it. We have 15 excuses why we don't have to be our own hero, or we're not acting like our own hero. And I think that's what we're at. And I talked about this a little while ago. But more importantly, okay, you take a bunch of the sources I give you. You contact them. That's the important thing. You contact them to see. You don't just apply blindly, unless that's the only way to do it. Some of these new programs, you have to. That's the only way to get them. So if that's it, you apply and see what happens. If when in doubt, apply. So if you think you're, if it's for business and you're not sure if you're eligible or not, you just apply. You fill out the form correctly. You don't lie. You apply. Don't lie. Apply. Okay. Otherwise, if you're going to hold to somebody, what you want to do is contact them to see if you should apply. That's the best way if you could do that, because that'll save you work and things like that. But now these new programs, they got literally 1.5 million applications. So they probably don't have any staff, to talk to you. So the best way is to apply. Don't lie, just apply. You're going to go on the internet and find all this kind of stuff. Man, I can. If I want to say that you're going to lie if you go to jail, yes, that's true. But it's still true. You don't have to be a business to get business money. See, both of those things are true. Yeah. So you hear one, you think they cancel out the other. They don't. That's why we're too slick in our words. And I guess that's what I see with me. I mean, I'm telling you the truth as I see it when I talk, and try to leave, ambiguous, be ambiguous in there, because I certainly am not right all the time. And that's why the only place to get the right answer is the people giving out the money. Don't trust me. Don't trust anything else you see on the internet or YouTube or whatever. We're all guessing. Maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong. So like the fellow who thinks he's going to go to jail, you contact that office who gave you the money. If you can't get through to them, then here's what to do. If it's a business application, you call your local small business development center and ask them. They're usually not bad to get a hold of nowadays. They're certainly a lot easier to get a hold of if it's the SBA you're trying to get them. So you contact them, you ask them. Don't rely on some huckster like me on the internet, promising you something. I can't. They're the only people, and then you want to get close to them if you're worried about them. And the closest you can get to the SBA right now is to the Small Business Development Center. If that doesn't work, then you call or contact your elected official. Say, hey, I applied to this. I'm not sure what to do. I'm worried that, this is whatever, and get them to investigate for you, because they have a better chance of getting the SBA, or they've handled that before, and they're close to the government anyway. They are government, just another branch. So instead of believing some huckster on the internet, that's why when I get an opinion about making a deduction, I call the IRS. I talk to some bureaucrat there. And so if they're wrong, I got their number. I'll take the deduction. So if I get audited, hey, Sally Johnson over at the IRS said I could do this. and see, that's, so don't the fear. I just hate, see what people are doing on the internet and everything is putting fear into people, because that, we vote like that because of fear. We're fear, we're going to be a socialist country if we don't vote for someone who wants to get rid of all the government. The government's bad. Sure, there are bad parts of it. I don't think socialism is good, but I think solving problems are good. How you solve it, whether it's with the government, without the government, that's, we got 20 million people going to be out in the street in 3 months. How are we going to solve that problem? The only tool I know right now, I don't see anybody, I don't see the 5 billionaires in actually the 5 IT guys, or 4 of them, that are on Capitol Hill today giving testimony. Their companies have like $5 trillion of business a year together. So that's, I forget what the government is, maybe 15 trillion or something like that. I forget, it changes all the time. But they could take that money and solve the 20 million people getting it. I don't hear them doing it, do you? So we got to do this somehow. People are in trouble. The house is on fire. So to me, the only thing left here is elected officials. They can do it. If you have somebody else that could do this, well, let me know. Because I'm not interested in politics. I'm interested in solving problems. Yeah. And that's probably the ideology. It's sort of like gluttony. If you believe there's only one way to solve everything, that's all you see. You're a lawyer, you see a legal problem. You got a hammer and you just pounding nails, legal problem. So anyway, so back in, dating and finding grants. That's, I think the key to all this is having an open mind. And that's why I don't, if you're thinking about joining me or whatever, for $20, all I do is point you. I try to answer everybody individually and point you the best sources of answers, the websites I know after 50 years of doing this. I can't follow through on all the research it takes to follow up on all these. That's where the key is. I give you sources. In other words, I could tell you where the women hang out on Thursday night if you're looking for a date. They're all over in that club. You just got to go over there. I can't take you introducing you to all of them. You have to do that, and it's up to you. And that's where the magic happens. That's where you have to develop those skills. That's the skill set you need, is how to start using these information sources in our society now. See, that's another thing with marketing, I feel. Marketing makes you believe everything is easy, because if I make you believe it's easy, it's easier to get your money. If I convince you it's easy, then I have an easier time getting your money. But it ain't. It may be. I could find you one case. When I was doing infomercials, that's what I used to do. I'm not going to sit there and waste time explaining all the ifs, ands, or buts about maybe get it, maybe not. This. No, I said, hey, look at this guy. He woke up Thursday and Friday he had the money. And our media was like that. Now, as I like about social media, and I could sit here, look at what have I, 17 minutes already explaining. I couldn't do that in old time media. I'm buying a 1-minute commercial for $50,000. I'm going to explain for 17 minutes. No. So that's what's neat about social media. And that's what I think about starting a business is so much better now, because you don't have to be a slick sucker. They're still out there, and the slick suckers selling you how to be a slick sucker are still making a lot of money. So everybody believes that that's what they have to be to sell. And I don't think that's true anymore. It used to be in old media, but not with this new media. And people smell through that. Maybe it takes them a while. And it'll take a while for that to settle down more and to get real stuff. And that's why if you're not out there selling your goods and services as a real person, selling real things that you're going to stand by, then people will trust you. If you're trying to hide behind, everything that you can never get me if I do something wrong, man, why I want to do business with you? You don't stand behind anything. You don't like what I do. I give you the money back no matter what the hell. I can't promise everybody. I can't please everybody's mind, whatever's in their mind. I can't read everybody's mind, what they're thinking. But I could do it. I have a better chance of doing that by spending time like I do here about what it's about. And to me, it's trying to educate people about the tools that I see are out there. I've been following information for 40 years. I got an MBA in management information systems from the 70s. That's right, where computers were bigger than this memorial back here. And I was designing database systems and everything, and then external information, and that's what we've grown into. And that's why it's very important to your success. And the people who run all this information now are people who want the money. And that's fine. This is what capitalism is. I appreciate it. But it's like automobiles. Automobiles are great, right? But you don't use them right, man. You're going to start killing people. We don't want that. You don't want that, right? So it's learning how to use the tools in our society. And because we're so good at marketing in this country, we get sucked in. I keep getting sucked in all the time because we just train people how to market. You look at, help for business and all this, somebody selling you some gadget, some package, some this or that money to help you market. No, the way to market is you go out. In other words, if somebody was selling, okay, you go out and get a date. Okay, I'm going to go and pretend you're you, or you pretend you're somebody else and get a date. And you're not going to get a good customer. You're going to get somebody who thinks you're somebody else, or you're trying to be somebody else. No, that's not good dating habits. That's maybe good for one night stands. and that's what a lot of business is, just a one night stand. They're not standing behind it, right? They don't see this forever. They don't believe in what they're saying. They believe that what they say will get you to buy. That's a lot different. And they find a kernel of truth that they could justify to say that. Yeah. Oh, it's complicated out there. Trust yourself because you're going to be making a lot of mistakes. And that's why I think that the important thing is you can't get away from making mistakes. So what to do is just don't make them cost. So keep learning, but don't spend money. You can learn all this shit. It's hard to get learning. And when you learn, then you can spend money. Okay. But, if you don't know what you're doing yet and haven't learned it yourself, all you're going to do is waste money on the next smooth talking sucker on the internet.